no sound, but it doesn't matter. So we are Augementaio. We are a AR project company specialized on projects for industrial and retail use cases. And we are providing projects for Microsoft HoloLens, all kinds of different wearables that are currently available on the market, and especially for maintenance and training as well, like on tablets, like you can see here, and also on the Microsoft HoloLens. The HoloLens itself is a nice device, but it's still not really usable for companies in a large scale. So what we are doing, we are preparing the applications already then the companies are ready when the final glasses are coming out that are really usable for these use cases. Here's one of the training use cases we did for Saudi Electric in Saudi Arabia. So this is basically the connection of two high voltage cables with 36,000 volts together, and the connection is really difficult and you have to do every step right. So we developed more than 60-step manual how to connect these two cables. And one of our biggest customers in this case is also Linde. So this is a sales application that shows for their customers how they can sell their nitrogen cooler systems to customers that are used to freeze pizzas and other kind of food. And they can place them at the customer's premises, and they can check if they fit, if the security area is big enough, and if they can reuse the machines in their environment. Also for trade shows, very interesting thing, if you have a product, a software product for example, that is really hard to explain, like in this case, Lovix Solutions is providing software products for warehouse systems, basically to combine all different kinds of barcodes you have on your products within one system, so you don't have the problems that arise when you scan different barcodes of different systems. And this is like quite complicated software, so that's why we are explaining this with the application for a trade show. And this is classical augmented reality. You use a marker that is being used to track basically the table where it should be placed, and then you can see the 3D augmentation on top of it. And the same is also, in this case, it's running on HoloLens. That's also why the resolution is so bad. So it's to show, for Evonik to show their chemicals that they're using in cars, plastics, different glass fibers, and so on. And this one is for Linde Elgas, is to place gas containers at customers' premises as well. And here's one of the most interesting topics that I will go a little more into later, is also the navigation inside and outside. In this case, in a stadium, to find your seat, to find the food. When you want to order something, you can order food to your place. Everything is being connected. And this is indoor navigation we did for Claro in Colombia. That's like a big shopping mall, and they have a big store inside, and they wanted their customers to be able to go into the store and to find the VIP room in the store. So they lead them through the whole store, give them some information on the way, and show them exactly where they have to go. This also shows different viewpoints from the building, so you know you can check out where different places are in the city. And this all combines basically GPS-based navigation and indoor navigation. So this is basically the idea how it should look like in the near future. As we all know from Hollywood movies, there's lots of augmented reality used in movies for new kinds of, for new ways to display information in your field of view. And we are currently only limited by the technology that we are using. So, as you all know, the market is growing really quickly. The virtual reality and augmented reality market are one of the biggest media markets that are one of the fastest growing markets. And there's many companies already using augmented reality technology, even if they use it in the background, not just for their customers. So there's already a lot going on in the whole field, and currently we are basically limited to technical, to the technical limitations from the devices. We have limited capabilities for the cameras, we have limited capabilities in the tracking technology. So basically the whole AR thing started with the tracking of markers. That's on the left side, 2D marker-based tracking. Really simple, you place a marker somewhere, you put it in the system, the marker is being recognized, and then you place your AR content on top of it. Then the 3D object tracking came up with SLAM also, that enables to recognize and track objects. It's also quite limited to lighting conditions. If you have a strong lighting directly on the object, or if some lights are switched off, then the tracking might not work anymore. So this is also still a technical limitation that can be overcome by using actual 3D data to track the objects. Like on the right side, what you can see is a CAD-based tracking. So it uses CAD data and tries to recognize the object that's in front of you. And this is less influenced by lighting conditions, for example, or especially when you want to maintain a machine and the machine is dirty, there's oil everywhere, and there's ink coming or paint coming off, then this makes it a lot more stable and a lot easier to track, because it doesn't rely on on basically optical colors and contrasts and so on. It relies only on the shape. So one of the most famous AR projects currently is the IKEA project. So many of you might have heard of it already. Basically, you can place at home any kind of furniture. You can completely set up your home and then save the furniture and order it or buy it directly at IKEA. This is one of the most straightforward use cases that's being used today because it works. There were technical limitations in the past where you had to place a marker on the floor or the IKEA catalog, and now with Apple AR Kit you have a really high accuracy in case of size, so you can place furniture everywhere and the accuracy is up to 1 to 2% accurate when you place it, even if you don't only have one camera. Another use case, this is a typical sales use case, really new application from one of our partners, Innovation Rocks from Vienna. So they built an application for the new electric Porsche, and basically there you can place the car in full size in your driveway or wherever you want. You can check out the components, check out the features and everything, and this works really well. It's also a correct size estimation. It has a very nice optical appearance, and these are all concepts that are working right now, that are working really good. Also right now very interesting are cases for education and museums. Of course, when you walk through the museum, you usually have the audio guide that you all know. It would be a lot more engaging if you were just able to have like some device around your neck and you're walking in front of an artwork. It detects the artwork and it gives you the information automatically without having to enter some kind of number in the audio system. Here's again the indoor navigation use cases, in and outdoor navigation use cases that are melting together right now. So this is right now where we are from the technological standpoint. Indoor navigation was not really possible a few years before because it's very difficult. You have no GPS inside. The tracking is very inaccurate. And with new tracking algorithms coming up, indoor navigation is now also possible for larger environments and for larger stores. And now the image is coming. This is also the explanation for what was happening in the last 1 or 2 years. So basically when we started with Linde, the whole application, we started with using markers on the floor to detect where the walls are. So we had 3 markers, 2 for the walls, 1 for the object itself in the middle. And then you had to walk away from the markers, scan all 3 of them, and then you can see the walls and you can see if the object is hitting a wall because there was no wall detection yet. The new version with ARKit has a very accurate size estimation, so we are like the object is more than 8 meters long and we are less than 20 centimeters away from the original size, what is very convenient, and you don't need any markers. You just place the object on the floor, you scan the walls, and then it tells you if you are hitting the wall, if the security area is compromised or not, and if you are able to place the machine actually in the environment you want to. So also for maintenance, AR is being used for quite a long time already. So this is just an example from Volkswagen a few years ago. They're using it to maintain cars that are really exotic and where they are not able to train all of the employees to maintain this single car that they might have only sold like a few hundred times. So here augmented reality can help to educate all the mechanics to that every shop basically is able to repair this car. Now to the industry use cases, what is coming up now also with Industry 4.0 is basically the connection of the data you're collecting with Industry 4.0 and giving it a new appearance. So just looking at this, that from generated data is first of all less engaging, and second of all it's less straightforward than actually looking at the machine and having the possibility to see all data from like the RPM of an electric engine, the vibrations, the heat, for example. So you can see all the data directly on the machine, what gives you a better impression of how it's working and what has to be maintained in the future. So to come to the future, this is a screenshot from a movie. So this is basically where we are coming from. So all the AR headsets in the past, there's AR headsets being developed for years and years already. And they started being like very big, very bulky, not really usable, very hard to use. And now we are at the point where we can use something like this, something like the Microsoft HoloLens to empower like the augmented reality around you, basically. But the technology is still very limited. So we are still basically fighting with problems like small display size, low resolution, low battery power, so the battery runs out after 2 to 3 hours with the HoloLens, for example. So there's still some things to overcome, but the platforms are already there. So it's already possible to develop on these platforms, and when the new hardware is coming out, you can develop with the new hardware directly, and you are the first mover in this field. And the evolution is going on. So this is a headset from ODG, the R9 headset. It's also meant to be used for augmented reality. This is just to show like how the form factor gets smaller and smaller over time. And at some point the glasses will just look like these glasses, like the spectacles from Snapchat. That's it. And these only can do videos right now, but the idea also for Snapchat is to empower, to have these glasses with augmented reality enabled functionalities. And this is where it's going to, basically. So in a few years from now, we will have normal glass frames that look like straight normal sunglasses, straight normal glasses, and we can use them as augmented reality headsets. Or at some point, we might also come to the contact lenses that are being developed right now as well. They're in the beginning of the development, but they will come. So now many people are asking, like, I would never wear contact lenses, I don't like to wear glasses, and that's completely understandable if you're not like every day wearing glasses. But there is always one sentence that's really, that really hits the point, basically. It's when you feel a little bit more stupid when you take the glasses off, then you don't care about how they look like. So this is basically the step that we have to reach, that the extra value that you get from these kind of devices is so high that you are wearing them no matter if you're usually not wearing glasses. So, and this point is really close now, so I think we're really close to the mainstream, to go mainstream with these augmented reality headsets, and then also all the augmented reality applications for consumers will have a big boost again, because it's much more convenient to use them on the glasses than using them on the phone and holding the phone in front of your face all the time. Because nobody wants to navigate through an airport with the phone like this, and then you're like falling over people and other things. So this is, it's always a question of convenience. This is just a short overview about the technological development, what's coming up or what was coming up. So HoloLens we have for 2 years already now. There's a new device coming out quite soon. Nobody knows exactly when, besides Microsoft. But there is a new device coming out, so there will be a cheaper version coming that's more lightweight and better working. And the ODG R9, they were supposed to come out last year. They didn't. So they are right now still not out, only for some developers as far as I know, but they are coming out as well. These were the small ones that look like sunglasses. Magic Leap just came out, as you might know. The Magic Leap headset was very high anticipated. They got $2.6 billion investment. But now the first voices that have tried them are like not overbrand. They say it's maybe a little bit better than the HoloLens, but it's like not the big step that they were waiting for. But this big step will come sooner or later, but it will only take maybe 1 or 2 more years. So thank you very much. It was my slide deck. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me.